Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, we're getting back into another video, and as you can tell by the title, we are going over the Maestro guide. Now, before we get into this video, obviously, I'd just like to remind, seems how some of my other guides do sometimes get flamed, fair enough, but I just like to remind you guys from what I've learned from these comments is this is definitely more on the simple side of a guide. It has basics of the operator, and it teaches you a few plays that you can utilize in terms of this operator. So that is what you are going to get from this video. If that's not what you're looking for, I just recommend clicking off now. So yeah, just a little warning. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the Maestro guide right now. If you're interested in leaving a like on this video, if you do end up enjoying it, do make sure to do that because it does help this video get out to more people who are trying to learn Maestro if you feel it was worth a like. Also make sure to drop a sub if you're interested in more videos. We drop guides here, we drop gameplay here, we drop challenges here, we do everything Siege related on this channel, upload every day. So if you're interested in content like that, hit that subscription button with the notification bell. And also make sure to come check out my streams if you do have the time, 7:15 PM Australia Eastern Standard Time. If you have any questions you want to ask me about guides, etc., or you just want to come have a chat, I'm streaming there quite often at that time. I stream there 3-4 hours, so I'd love to see you guys there. And with that said, let's get into this operator guide. So as always, we're going to start off with the weapon review, move on to the gadget utilization, and then finish off with the operator strategies. So without further ado, let's get into the weapon review. Obviously, Maestro's primary weapon and his most known weapon is the Alder 5.56, or his light machine gun if you don't know its actual name. This weapon comes in at 35 damage on 900 rounds per minute. So obviously it is very strong, but when you think about it, 35 damage is definitely on the lower scale compared to a lot of other weapons. But this weapon was arguably one of the most overpowered weapons. Probably not anymore, but it was arguably one of the most overpowered weapons back when it had an ACOG. Now, when it had an ACOG, this thing just absolutely ruined everything it saw. Maestro was actually my main back when he had an ACOG, but honestly, taking the ACOG off him, I really didn't think it would change anything, but it really did just nerf Maestro to the absolute ground. You definitely don't see him near as much as you used to when he did have an ACOG, but it was an understandable nerf. He definitely did have a lot of power. The fact that he has 80 bullets in his magazine for this gun as well, shooting at 900 rounds per minute fire rate, is just absolutely crazy. It really doesn't matter what damage you're doing there. The sheer amount of power you can bring with this thing, especially with that ACOG tapped on top of it, it was definitely a broken weapon in the game, and it had to be changed. If I were to change it, I would have just taken capacity down and kept the ACOG, but that's just me. Anyway, I'm ranting a little bit here because of the old days, but Maestro's Alder, it's a great weapon. It still is a great weapon. Obviously, it only has access to the reflex, holographic, and red dot sight now. Personally, I was using the reflex for the first few clips of this video, and I just didn't like it, so I put holographic on, and that was a little bit better. So my personal preference would be holographic, but everyone has personal preferences for sight, so you can switch that up. But definitely, probably my recommended weapon would be the Alder, but he does have an alternative, which is the ACS 12 shotgun. This is a 12 gauge combat shotgun that does 59 damage on 300 rounds per minute fire rate, so it is a very slow shooting gun, but this is actually a slug shotgun, I believe. You can nail people at long range with this thing. It is essentially a sniper. So I don't think anyone really, well, I didn't know this until they added the 2x scope onto it, and now you can just absolutely laser people. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure what its range capacity is, but this thing is actually really strong, and it can be used as quite a fun weapon just to mess around with. But I'd 100% recommend that you do just bring the Alder if you're playing in a ranked situation, because the ACS 12 can work, but I feel like the Alder is definitely the go-to option here, and that is what I would recommend for you guys to use if you are a first-time Maestro player. But the ACS 12, you can't forget about it. It is a fun weapon to use. It's just not what I'd see a good player using in a ranked situation. Moving on to his secondary weapons, he has access to the Bailiff 410 and the Keratos .357. Now, the Bailiff 410 does 30 damage on a trigger finger fire rate with 5 bullets in the capacity, but this is a damaging pistol, so it does a lot of destruction to soft walls, like soft walls, stuff you can breach. This is where this pistol comes in handy the most, and it can be used for rotations, but obviously just uses impact grenades, in my opinion, that he does have access to, so I just use them instead. And then he has the Keratos, which also can do soft wall damage, definitely not as much as the Bailiff, but it can do soft wall damage, and this comes in at 78 damage per shot, so in a significant increase. This is a much more damage. This is one of the highest damaging pistols you can get, along with 6 ammo in the capacity. So it has 6 bullets, so you can shoot 6 times at 78 damage per shot. 100% a great secondary weapon to use if you are going to be taking gunfights, but if you're going to be playing the support role on Maestro, which is I will get into soon, the Bailiff is the way. But if I'm going to be completely honest, either of these pistols work. It just depends on your play style and what you plan to be doing that round. As I said before, Keratos is probably more on the taking gunfights role. Bailiff is probably more on the sitting on site chilling role. So pick depending on how you like to play, and that pistol will suit you there. Now getting into the operator, not the operator strategies, the gadget utilization. Maestro has access to the Evil Eye, a remote-controlled bulletproof camera that is armed with a high-energy laser. So you have access to 2 of these. You can place them on any surface around the map, except the roof. Obviously, you can put them on walls, reinforced walls, normal walls, hard walls. You can just put them on anything. You can put them on the ground even, but I wouldn't recommend that. And they are obviously a bulletproof camera that does give. He is an Intel operator, so it gives you an additional camera that can be utilized like a normal camera. You can look left to right. It obviously doesn't have the flexibility of, say, a Valkyrie camera, but it still does have a lot of versatility that can move side to side. And it also has access to, obviously, what it said, its high energy laser, which if you hold LT, it will drop the bulletproof shield on the camera, and you are able to shoot a laser at the enemies, dealing, I believe it is, I actually don't know how much damage it does. I think it's 4 or 5 or 3. It's one of those. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry about that. But it does a decent amount of damage for a small laser. It might do less than what I say, honestly. I think it's 3, I think. But so this, obviously, when you drop this laser, the camera then comes exposed, and it can be shot by a defender, an attacker, sorry, or it can obviously still be destroyed by all explosives and gadget destruction stuff like frag grenades, sledges, hammer, etc. It can be thatchered and then shot. There's stuff like that. There's a lot of counters to the Maestro camera because it is an electrical gadget, so obviously all the anti-electricals and just someone with a destructible item can destroy this, but it is still incredibly useful and provides a lot of intel, along with a distraction that can also be used to destroy gadgets as well. If you place them in the right spot, you can use this to destroy a thermite charge, Habana pellets, anything like that. So this can be very useful if you do utilize it. But in my opinion, yeah, it's just a great gadget, and it has a lot of utilization to it that I would 100% recommend you guys take advantage of. With that said, though, it does have a lot of counters, unfortunately, because it's an electrical gadget. But with that said, it still really is a great intel thing. And if you can place them in like the right spot to cover a long distance of angles, and also be a nuisance to gadgets and operators, it can be a very effective gadget and utilized very well. Pairing this up with his operator strategies, which we're getting into now, you can play a very effective Maestro, and there are multiple ways you can really play him. 100% the probably most common way people would play Maestro is an anchor. He is obviously a 3 armor 1 speed operator, and sitting on the side is something Maestro should do because he has intel cameras that he needs to control to make use of the laser. Obviously other teammates I don't even think can move them. I'm pretty sure they're stuck. Only Maestro can move and shoot them. So yes, you 100% should play an anchoring role with Maestro to pair up with these cameras. If you want to make use of your evil eyes and your gadget, which is 100% what you should do on any operator, you should always play their gadget. That is the point of playing their operator. You should 100% just sit on site and play a relaxed game. You should focus on just taking slow pushes, slowing people down, being in a nuisance, and also providing intel for your roamers and giving callouts if you're in a party. Utilizing these strategies will 100% make you a better Maestro player, and I do not believe there is really any fit for Maestro in an off-site position. He has a very slow gun. Obviously, he was quite a common spawn picker. I can't lie, I used to do it a lot too when he had the ACOG, but now he doesn't have the ACOG, you can still spawn peek, but I feel like the ACOG is something that provides that additional support for when you're spawn peeking that you just don't get anymore. So obviously, I feel like you should not spawn peek. Yeah, the ACS-12 does have a 2 times if you're that desperate to spawn peek, but I wouldn't recommend spawn peeking with someone so utility based anyway. But I definitely feel like Maestro is a support operator in build, and definitely he should be a support operator in playstyle as well. And I definitely recommend, if I were to recommend anything to you guys, it would be to just hold down the site, make use of your evil eyes, provide intel, and also be a nuisance to the enemy attacking team. And that is about all I have to say. I hope you guys did understand that, and I really don't know how else I can explain it, but if you were to take a roaming role, I just don't really know how I can provide a guide to that, because he just does not fit a roaming role. Obviously, you can utilize your cameras to hold down a position that you may want to hold, but I just don't see that working. 100%. Yeah, I know I've said 100% a lot, but that's how much I I believe the percentage is you should do this, but you should definitely just put your cameras around the site and utilize them there. That is the best place you can put them and utilize them, and I feel like that is 100% how you can get the best out of Maestro as an operator. And with that said, I think that's enough talking from me. I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, again, make sure to leave a like on this video if you haven't already, to help support this video and the channel so more people can find this guide. If you think it was useful, hopefully they do as well, and they find something new about Maestro in this video, because that is the goal. Also, make sure to drop a sub on the channel if you're interested in more guides, gameplay, just challenges, etc. Everything Siege related, daily videos, 7 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time I upload those. Make sure to come check out that channel and hit that sub bell, hit up that sub bell with the notifications on, so you can stay up to date with all my videos. And if you are interested in taking the next step, I stream on Twitch 7:15 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time every day except for Saturday as well. I stream there. We play a lot of different games. We don't just play Siege on stream. I kind of focus on Siege videos off stream. Obviously, I don't really record on stream, but anyway, off topic. But I'd love to see you guys in the stream as well. And with that said, that's about all I have to say. I do hope you guys found this video useful. Good luck playing Maestro, everyone, and I hope you guys I hope you guys found this useful and can make effective use out of Maestro after watching this guide. Peace.